No.
Come on, Mama.
Just like a stranger, God gave back the light. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more in darkness, no more in night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light.
Yeah.
All right.
That's enough.
Good job.
She said that's enough.
Still
My
got it.
dad played his harp, he'd say, yeah, and I cut it off.
Yeah. I remember Dad when we made that tape for David when he was in Japan. Remember when we were making it and he told you, he said, Ann, your mouth is open and ain't no sound coming out.
Yeah.
Tell where you and Grandpa both were originally from. You know, where
Oh, okay,
in
I was
Kentucky.
from Morgantown, Kentucky, up close to Bowling Green. And he was from Hallsville, Kentucky.
How did you guys even meet?
Beverly Heights, we all both lived down there,
So
Beverly Avenue.
when you both were here in Evansville.
Yeah, after we come to Evansville. Yeah, I wouldn't have anything to do with him. He wouldn't look at me or I wouldn't look. But he said he was over to this friend's house. Their names was Phillips too, and he was over there and they told him, why don't you go over and get that little Ann? Said, she's a cute little thing and she's a good girl. And you'd really like her. And he said, oh, I don't know. I don't believe I want to. And he said, next thing you know, he was over there. And then he never left. The first time we got together was Darcy and Bill was going together. And Darcy and I walked down the street, and Bill was in the car sitting out beside the place where they lived at. And he hollered at her, and we went over there, and the girl was in the back seat, and Bill was in the front. And they got us together that night, and we never was separated after that.
So Bill and Grandpa were friends.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
because they were both Phillipses.
Okay.
They known each other back in boys when they were just real young.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were in the car together, and we went and got in the car with them and stayed in the car with them the rest of the time.
What brought your family here from Morgantown,
Kentucky.
and then what brought Grandpa's family here? I mean, obviously it was probably work.
Work, yeah.
But do you know what kind of work?
Dad was working at a Lamasco trucking company, moving houses on big trucks. And they would jack them up and put the big truck underneath them and haul them down the road, and had to take them real slow and move them to another place where they was taking them to. And yeah, he was at Lamasco Trucking Company. And I don't know where Mr. Phillips, I don't think he ever had a real job. He worked out for this old lady out in the country, because my mom and dad and me, we all worked out there for her. And she had Mr. Phillips working out there before we went out there. And then I think he got mom and dad going out there working for her. And then I went out there and stayed with her during the summer and lived with her practically for all summer and worked, helped her and everything. And then she had a big old, great big house, all kinds of antiques. Back when we worked for her, she used to sell antiques to different people.
Mm-hmm.
And they would come from everywhere to buy them. And she got real big prices out of them because she was an old Dutch woman, and she had saved all that stuff from relatives all the years back.
Wow.
And I never did get inside that building to see any of it, but every once in a while she'd bring a piece out and sell a piece or two at a time. Somebody'd come out there and buy them, rich people.
Wow.
And she played a piano. And at nighttime she'd get on that piano and play songs and sing to me. But you had to ride a bus to get out there. But Mr. Phillips walked out there one time, so he didn't have bus fare, and he walked out there and walked back home.
Do you remember her name?
Yeah, Cornelia Douglas.
Cornelia Douglas.
But I stayed out there with her all summer. and helped her to take her cleaning her furniture and all that stuff that she sold. This is when I was 16 or 17. I went to the fall festival. This is an old fall festival.
Really? Fall
Yeah.
festival, huh?
Yep.
What'd Mike say? Isn't she beautiful? Is that what he says?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, we was 15, 16, I guess, and we started going together. He was my first boyfriend, the only one I ever had.
Did he take you to the fall festival to get that picture?
Probably. I don't remember for sure if he was with me when I got this made or not. Well, we got a lot of them together. But yeah, this is my very first picture, and I even had a cold sore there, which just shows up a little bit. But I have pretty eyes, so.
Yeah, you do.
This is me and your grandpa before we got married. I think it's 52. I was 16 or 17.
Do you remember what road that's on?
Yeah, that's on that Moore Road out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where you go under the?
Back toward
Train?
St. Joe, though.
Yeah.
That's where we always went and parked.
Oh, what'd you do when you parked?
Well, there was cornfields out there then.
I know. What'd you do when you
But
parked?
actually, you don't show it, but there was. We just stopped out there.
You just talked?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Did you play kissy
Just sit out
face?
there. But see, that's all always doing, just sitting.
You didn't play kissy face?
Well, yeah. But this is, see how skinny I was?
Yeah. That must have been.
I weighed 98 pounds.
There you go.
You didn't start eating good till he married you, and then he started feeding you,
He
right?
took you off a riverbank, did he? And then he started feeding you good.
Creek Bank.
Creek
Bank. Okay, same difference. Yeah.
I lived on Pigeon Creek.
Yeah.
So that's why you were 89 or 98 pounds. You were just eating little things out of Pigeon
I had
Creek.
there was 8 kids in our family. That's why I was skinny. Yeah. There was 8 of us. And Mom had beans and potatoes, and that was about it.
So eight of you in what size
7
house?
boys and 1 girl.
What size
7
house?
girls and 1 boy. Huh?
What size was your house? Like how many rooms?
2. It was Dad, when he built it, we built it out of oak lumber that he had brought from Maven Sports Lumber Company, where he worked. And he went down underneath the hill where we lived up on the top of the hill in Bowley's house. And Dad bought these 2 lots right down next to it. And he'd made a driveway go down the hill to the place where he wanted to build a house.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started this house down there, and he made these great big rooms. They were like 18 foot each way. And that's what we had, was 2 18-foot rooms. We had a bed on this side and a bed on this side, and there was 4 girls, or 7 girls in 2 beds. Then Mom and Dad slept in the front room with 1 big bed, and Esther Jr. slept on the couch.
So how did 7 girls fit in 2 beds? How did you?
Because we were all little,
I mean, was
and we'd sleep 1 in there.
that's
2
what
at
I
the other.
mean?
Yeah.
2 at the other end.
Mhm.
Wow.
We'd switch around, different ways and things, but we was so little we could all lay crossways on the bed.
Yeah.
Because there was only about 15 months difference between one of us. When you took your bath, you had to take your bath in a big wash tub, because you didn't have no bathtubs. You just had that one great big wash tub. And I don't remember, Mom would start the biggest one and go down to the littlest one. She was the last one to take the bath.
You all shared the same water and everything.
Yeah, they did.
Mm.
We weren't that dirty, I guess. But what?
You know that water was dirty.
It probably was, but we didn't have well water, or we had to had the water hauled in a barrel. This old man had a horse and wagon, and he had 2 or 3 barrels in the wagon, and he would take that and go to someplace and fill it up with water, bring it back, and up on top of the hill was our barrel, and he would dip it out of his and pour it over into our barrel.
So you'd have to heat your water for your baths?
Yeah, Yeah, we'd have to eat a little bit we didn't have a little bit in tow.
And so you guys grew up in that house?
Pretty well, yeah. We moved Beverly Heights in 48. And I'm not sure. I think Thelma was born about 48. She was the last one that was born there. But we were all small. We furnished a bus, and we was going to get married and live in it. And then the neighbors all said, no, you can't park that bus down there. So we had to go and rented this house from Nellie Moore and Phillips, and took our furniture and put it in the house and sold the bus. But we was going to live in it, and they wouldn't let us. But we was going to get married and just live in that bus.
Wow.
Nellie Moore was going to move to Chandler, and we were real good friends of theirs. And Lauren said, if you want that house, then I'll give you 2 months' rent on the house for the bus. So we gave him the bus and moved our furniture into the house, and that's where we started out living, there at 2804 North 2nd Avenue. And we lived there for quite a while. But yeah, he was, I don't know, we was going to live in the
I
bus.
bet you had that bus all done up, didn't you?
Well,
Ready
yeah,
to go.
we had a bed and table and chairs and stuff in it. So, before we had our restaurants back before we had kids and
Oh, okay.
up in Chandler.
Okay.
And then Sue and Jerry Cheshire ran one for us up there. We had 4 altogether. We had 1 up there and we had 3 here in Evansville. And they were all called Ann's Place.
How long did you have them?
Well, almost until that time I went to work at General Foods, because well, let's see, no, there was some time that I worked in the factory. But I'm not sure how many years we had them, but we started the first one in 1941. That was the first restaurant we ever had. They're on the corner of First Avenue and Dale Avenue, right where Grandy's is now. Mm-hmm. And that was our best one. That's when we had all the jukeboxes and all the pinball machines and shuffleboards, pool table, everything. Well, we didn't fix no big food or anything. We just had the sandwiches where you heat them up. But I just stayed in there and took care of it, kept it cleaned up, and waited on people, give them money for putting machines and things. Mainly what it was, like a recreation room for them. But the only one we had where we had food was over on Park Street, and it was called Ann's Place, and I made brain sandwiches. I made them in my big orange skillet, and I'd make them the size of that orange skillet, and then hang out over the bun, and put onion and pickle on them. Well, they were good.
Is that why you love them so much now?
Yes, I love them. I'd eat one every day if I could. But yeah, they were good. Miss Cheshire taught me how to make them.
Where would you get them from to cook them?
You get them at the meat shop over butcher shop and stuff like that. And you had to clean them because they were they had the membranes around them, you know, and you had to soak them in real strong salt water, and that made the white stuff extra stiff on them. And you just pull it all off to where you'd have the good clean brains there to cook.
Okay, we need a timeout.
And then you mix your baking powder and your flour and milk together and make a great big sandwich with it. It was good. Miss Cheshire taught me how to make them, and I mean, they were good. Everybody loved them.
So when did you move to the house Uncle Mike's in now?
House Uncle Mike's in now. 32 years, let's see, 44 years ago now. Whatever that was. We lived there 32. And we're out here 12.
They would have the get-togethers down at the old house, and Grandpa and all of his brothers and friends would be out there, and every one of them playing an instrument, recording songs. And that would go on, I mean, until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just playing music.
Until they got tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And us kids would be running around, playing outside, coming in, listening for a while.
It was a hangout for everybody. It's always busy over there.
I always remember your dad, great grandpa coming down and
Stopping out there and putting his hat in the truck.
yes, and you'd make a pot of coffee, and he always sipped his coffee out of a saucer.
Yeah,
He never put it in a cup.
that's the way he did when he was younger. All of his life, it said that's what the saucer was for, is to cool the coffee. Because it's too hot right out of the cup.
He would pour it right in the saucer and then just tip it up.
Sip it. Mm-hmm.
And that's how he would sip his coffee.
Grandma Bernie just loved to come out there. It was Sunday morning she wanted to come out there. And we'd have to go pick her up and bring her out, and she'd come make the biscuits, and we'd have a big breakfast, and she had flour everywhere. I mean, it was all over the kitchen floor. I had to get the vacuum and everything she got done, but we let her make biscuits every Sunday morning. That was special for her. It was mostly just us and
Us kids would stop in.
some of you, yeah, if you was there, you would eat, but yeah, but I mean, you know, if you was there, you'd eat, but
It's like going to Denny's.
Yeah.
she loved to cook, so we just had a big breakfast every Sunday morning. But yeah, everything happened over there, because that was a big house, and we had plenty of room. Plenty of room for everybody to do everything. Let the good times roll, that's what was said.
We did.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
I've been walking in the moonlight, dripping in the starlight, and Lord, I'm feeling down. Walking in the shadows, sneaking down the side roads. Come early morning, I'll be there at the end of town. I was thinking about a good thing. Thinking about a sweet dream in my honey's eyes. I was thinking, feeling kinda lonesome. Come early morning, I'll be there at my honey's side. I had drifted across the mountain. I had stumbled down the other side. I've been tempted and tried in trouble. Come early morning, I'll be home and satisfied. Give me a little loving, give me a little sunshine. Make me have a good time, Lord, when I'm feeling blue. I couldn't refuse her, I couldn't misuse her. Come early morning, I'll be home with my honeydew. I had drifted across the mountain. I had stumbled down the other side. I've been tempted and tried in trouble. Come early morning, I'll be home and satisfied.
You know, we've had a lot of good times, had a lot of bad times. We've had some loved ones dearly departed leave us. And we've had some new arrivals in the family. And the thing I think about is whether they're born or whether they're brought into the family. Mom and Dad's always accepted them. I've learned from them how to, conduct myself, how to take care of my family. Learned from my dad how to be a hard worker, provide for my family, and learned from my mom how to love. Jobs, houses, lifestyle, pass away, but you've always got your family. That's what's important.